Hey guys, what's up? It's Robbo here, Robbo347 that is. And today I wanted to talk to you about the Elder Scrolls Online, the Xbox One beta. Recently, I was recently invited to play the beta, and I had a lot of fun and I wanted to talk to you about it, specifically the combat and the abilities in the Elder Scrolls Online. So, if you didn't know, the Elder Scrolls Online is the sixth kind of made by a different company game in the Elder Scrolls series. It's not really Elder Scrolls 6, but it is an Elder Scrolls game. And there's one big difference though. All the other Elder Scrolls games have been RPGs, role-playing games, and been very specifically that, with no multiplayer. The Elder Scrolls Online, as you can tell by the name, is online. It's actually an MMORPG. It's been out on PC for a little over a year now. But I'm specifically here to talk to you about the Xbox One, from my experience from the beta. So, what should we start with? Let's get started with abilities. Okay, so in the Elder Scrolls Online, you have 5 abilities. On the PC version, that's just the numbered keys 1 through 5, with a 6th ability being your ultimate, which I think is programmed to Q or R or something. Now, obviously on the Xbox One and PS4, of course, on consoles you don't have keyboards. So I have to admit, I, and of course very many other people, were very worried about how exactly you're going to do your abilities in the Elder Scrolls Online on console versions. And I have to say I was very pleasantly surprised. So, in the console versions, your keys, your abilities 1 through 5 are marked to, at least on the Xbox, they're marked to X, Y, B, left bumper and right bumper, which actually feels really natural. I found myself, applying my sort of attack powers to X, because most of my experience with games have been X as a melee or a reload or something like that, but X is sort of like I don't know. And I found that I started applying like heavy damaging attacks to right bumper, because that's usually grenades and stuff like that. So it feels really natural, and I was very concerned about how it would feel, because you don't have 1 through 5 and keys, and the solution I came up with was something that clips into the bottom of the controller, similar to the headset adapter. So yeah, I was very pleasantly surprised with the abilities, at least how they were laid out on the controller. It felt really pretty natural on the controller. There was a few things, going past the abilities now, we're just talking about the controls. There are a few things that are a little bit, but I've attributed that to the beta and the fact that I was using my shitty controller for most of it, unfortunately, shamefully. But yeah, no, it felt really natural, the abilities. So let's actually talk about combat now, because combat is something of a bit of a toss-up. It's caused quite a bit of controversy in the Elder Scrolls Online PC, world, because the combat does feel a little bit flaky. Not gonna lie, it doesn't feel meaty. Is the best way I can put it. Now, the other Elder Scrolls games, because they are RPGs, you shoot a bow, you shoot them in the arm, the arrow goes to the arm, you see it stick in the arm, and it stays in the arm until the body disappears or whatever. The hitting somebody with your sword is meaty, it feels meaty. That's because it's an RPG. It's designed to be immersive, it's designed to do all that sort of stuff, especially RPGs that aren't online. Now, in the Elder Scrolls Online, it does incorporate very MMO, because it is an MMO, type features, especially when it comes to the combat. In MMO games, you can't have thousands of arrows that are sticking out of bodies, because that causes problems for other people in the world. Put straight service such as that. So there's no immersive sort of details like that, and also the combat is a little bit. You don't actually have to hit someone per se. Your cursor doesn't have to be on an enemy in order to hit them, especially with a bow or a staff. or shooting you know, magic or whatever. But that's not a fault of the Elder Scrolls Online. It's the fact that the Elder Scrolls Online is an MMORPG, and those are the type of elements that come with said, you know, with being in an MMO. It's just the way it is. I mean, the combat's still fun. It's really fun walking into a group of enemies and just popping all your abilities at once and just watching them fall to the ground. And I had a lot of fun doing PvP. You can see how much fun I actually had doing PvP in, I did 3, but 1 failed to. It's a long story. I did 2 videos doing sort of a Let's Play type series in the beta. It's not really a series, 2 videos isn't a series. But you can go and see how that went. The second part is me playing around in the Cyrodiil, which is the PvP hub of the Elder Scrolls Online. Which brings me to my next thing, the overall basics of the Elder Scrolls Online on the Xbox One. The world was great. I mean, I had a few problems with textures popping in a bit late. The draw distance wasn't all that great for textures. Again, I attributed that to the beta and the fact that I was playing on Australian internet. But it was great. The world was immersive. I really enjoyed the world. The graphics were great. I mean, they looked better than an MMO. Kind of good for an RPG, you know. There weren't anything fantastic, but I mean, it's still great. The artwork, as the sort of cutscenes or intro scenes, cutscenes is the wrong word to use. The loading screens was awesome. The artwork was really well done. Character design is great. Voice acting is incredible. There's every character talks. There is no silent characters unless they physically cannot talk in the game. There are no silent characters, so it's really good to hear everybody talking, and most people have different voices. They obviously hired quite a lot of voice actors to help out with the Elder Scrolls Online. So we've covered abilities, combat, the world. The story is great. From what I've seen of the story, it's great. I heard it's kind of a little bit lackluster. I still enjoyed it. I love the Elder Scrolls Online. Probably one of the funnest, probably one of the best moments I had playing the Elder Scrolls Online that weekend was the fact that I got to meet and talk to Sheogorath, the Daedric Prince of Madness. He was great. I loved him in Oblivion. Skyrim, he was just as, well, no, in Oblivion you had a whole DLC with him, but in Skyrim you only had 1 mission, but it was great. And I loved seeing him in Elder Scrolls Online. The story of Elder Scrolls is incredible, and I really liked it, and it really carried through into the Elder Scrolls Online. So yeah, I had a great experience with the beta. It's a little bit buggy, but hey, you know, it's a beta. One of my biggest concerns is playing as an Australian on Australian internet that isn't that great on servers that are either European or North American. I found that North American was almost unplayable, almost, and European was better, but I still experienced spike lags semi-often, so I am concerned about the playability for this game. I would love to play it. I would love to make it a major focus on my channel. I can't do that if I'm lagging out every 5 seconds, so I would be lying if I didn't say, or if I said that I wasn't concerned about connectivity and stuff like that, but I'm confident that, you know, maybe it was just a beta thing, maybe I just need to upgrade my internet. Definitely need to do that. So yeah, overall my experience was pretty great. I've been looking forward to this game. I was really disappointed. It was supposed to come out with a PC release on April 4th last year, and then again in June, and then even again in December. So I'm a little disappointed. It's about 1.5 years late, but I'm still looking forward to it. You can get the Elder Scrolls Online from your major game retailers on June 9th, and I hope to see you there. Go to the Elden Dominion. Bye.
Since you know all the answers, I guess you have to find another way into the dorm. We ain't moving.
What if I punch you in your dumb
Oh,
ugly
wait.
face?
Hold that pose.
Oh,
So original.
that's not nice.
Don't worry, Max. I'll put a vintage filter on it right before I post it.
Really
all over
not
social
nice.
medias. Now,
Somebody
why
needs
don't you
to
go fuck your
teach
selfie?
Victoria a lesson.
Oh yes, Victoria. I'll get your bony ass out of my way.